Hi, today I'm part way through, just started drafting a pair of men's late 19th century trousers, and I thought actually I should record this and then you can see how to do this. I'm drafting using a pattern set of instructions that I've just put onto Etsy. I'll put a link to the store in the description. Um, you will need an L square, a Tailor square to do this, um, and I will do a video about how to use it at some point soon. Um, but basically the instructions explains how to use the L square, and it gives you the drafting power, which is what you need to do the L square. So when I talk through it, you'll probably start to understand anyway. It also gives you a set of basic measurements, but you can use your own. You don't have to use these. Hopefully you could work out, if you there's things like the trouser hem, which you just have to work out the closest one. um, Although I think I do give you an example of how to work it out yourself. So that's the first page, is measurements. I'm doing a pair of 40-inch. Usually draft these in centimetres because I've taught this at a university and they all use metric nowadays. But I'm making 40-inch waist trousers. So although 40-inch and 100 centimetres are approximately the same, they're not quite. So I'm just going to do it in the imperial measurements. And I've marked all that on my paper. So I've written all my legend of that they're stock and that the date, and then all the information that is here in this chart. So if you were making these for a specific person, you make sure you put their name, etc., because this is your master pattern. And then I started doing the instructions. I've just got through the first page. Well, I've got the last one to do. And this gives you on page 4, it gives you a box that you have to create. So it explains how to draw it out. So all I've done is mark a line towards myself. You can see, let me come out a little bit further so you can see. There we go. So that's naught. So where I've drawn a line towards myself and then marked a line that way across the length of my paper, and where they cross over is naught. And then from that point, naught, I've measured all the way that way to get to number 1, which is my outside leg measurement, and then squared back towards myself, and that's my hemline, and then which is this one here. So I'm just going to write on here hem line. So that was naught, which is there, squared down to 1, and then from 1 I've measured back up to number 2, which is just there, and that's my inside leg measurement. And then number 3 is over here, just out of shot by the looks of things. There we go. Number 3 is there, and that is halfway between 1 and 2, and then we've come up 2 inches to get to 4 and squared across, and that's my knee line. Okay, and that's as far as I've got. I've just got to mark in number 5, which is the point where I thought, oh, I should be sharing this with other people. So I'm going to put the instructions possibly out of the way most of the time, but I'm just going to refer back to them. Okay, so point 5 from point 2, so I've got to work that way, and if I look at my diagram, point 5 is towards naught. Okay, so point 5 is coming this way. From point 2 is 1/6 of the seat on the square. Okay, so my seat measurement, my full seat measurement, is 46 inches. So the drafting power, the on the square measurement, is half that, which is 23. So I find the 6th section, start off with. There's the 6th, and then I need to find the 23. Now we've got 20, 21, 22, so 23 is that one there. Okay, so from that naught, I'm going to measure to there, from 2. Okay, the drafting power on the seat is 23. So you need to make sure that you think about the 6th. So find the 6th section, then the seat. Drafting power is half the actual seat measurement, and it's on the square, means that you're using drafting power. And then you mark that as number 5, and then I'm going to square that back towards myself using that long line so that I know that I've got this is right angle. Okay, and that is my hip or seat line. Okay, hip is usually terms female, seat is male. It's the same thing. It's the widest part of the hip or bottom area. Okay, so the next section, or the next bit to do, is the front panel. Okay, as as with any pattern drafting, you only draft half the body, and with trousers, you draft the front, and then on top you draft the back, and then you separate them out. Okay, you'll see what I mean when I get there. But we can start with the front, and we're going to mark 0.6 from 2 is 1/8 of the seat on the square. So again, drafting power of the seat is 23, and I need the 1/8 section, which is here. So I find the 23 point, which is there, and then it's 0.6 from 0.2, and it's going this way, okay, because it's creating the crotch area. So line that up and just mark that point there, and that's 0.6. Okay, cross it off, and then the next step is to mark 0.5 inches above 0.5 and join, so ½ inch. So I'm going to flip my ruler over. I'm going to mark ½ inch above 0.5 there, and that's not numbered, but we're going to join that to 6 with a curve. So I'm going to find my trusty pattern master and hip curve and see which one of them will do it. And I think, yeah, look at that, that joins those nicely. So I've got a nice curve here. Okay, I expect you could use, yeah, let's see, that's pretty well, oh, you can't see at all, I'm not even in shot. There we go. So you've got a curve there, which I did with the hip ruler. See, so that's it, and sits in like that. And then use my pattern master, I could do pretty well the same curve. Okay, so move those two out of the way for a minute, and then okay, and that creates the front fork of the trouser. And then the next step is 0 to 7. So 0.0 to 7, which is over here, is equal to 1/4 of the actual waist measurement plus 1/4 of an inch along the first construction line that we drew. So this is our waistline. Okay, so I'm just going to put that in there. So I need 1/4 of the waist measurement. So the waist is 40 inches, so that means it's 10 inches plus 1/4 of an inch. So 10 1/4 is there. That's number 7. And then 0.8 is from 5. So 5 is here and 8 is here. Let's just create the hip line. So 0.8 from 0.5 is half the seat, or halves the seat on the square. So if I turn this over, on the short arm, you have halves here. Okay, so it's of the seat. So we find 23 because my drafting power for my hip on my seat is 23, and I'm going to square from 5 to create 0.8. I'm just going to check, and then I've got to add an inch. So I'm just going to mark from the naught, from that corner to 23 on the halves is my hip, drafting power for my hip. I'm then going to flip my ruler over, and from that point that I've just marked, I'm going to add an inch. Okay. No, I'm not crossing my numbers off. Let me cross that off. 0.8, and then you join 0.7 to 0.8 with a nice curve. So again, I'm going to use my hip curve. I'm going to use it that way round because I want the fullness of the curve to be near the seat, not up by the waist. Just demonstrate. If I use it that way, it goes like that. If I use it that way, you could end up with a curve doing that, which is a bit too full for my liking. Okay, not to say that it's up to you, but I would just put more fullness down here, and then it's just a nicer shape, because otherwise it's very curvy, and if you haven't got that fullness up here, which men don't often have, you don't need it. Okay, so that was number 8. Join 0.7 to join 8, done that. From 0.8, square down to the line extending from 1, so that is the hemline. So I'm just going to square straight down. So to start myself off, I'm actually going to use my pattern master. I'm just going to put that on there. So I'm lining up that line so that I know that it's going square down from there. Okay, and this is just a guideline. So I just need to move some things out of the way. You do need quite a bit of space to do trousers, because of the length of them. I've got enough space, it's just getting you to be able to see it is another thing. So I'm going all the way down to my hemline. Okay, and I'm going to mark that as 0.9. So just move this up so that you can hopefully see what I'm doing. So that's my knee line. That's 0.1 at my hem. This is my hemline, and then I've just marked 0.9, which is straight down from 0.8, which is up that way. Okay, so from 0.8, that's 0.9, and then 0.10 is opposite 0.4. It's over here. So that's 0.10, and 0.11 is opposite 0.2. So that's 11 there. Okay, and then 0.13 is from Okay, so then we're going to shape the inside leg. So 0.12, sorry, 0.13 from 0.1 is 1 3/8 towards 0.9. So 1, 2 3/8. So that's 13. Have I done 0.12? No, I've just jumped a step. So 0.12, I thought that was odd. 0.12 from 0.4, doesn't really matter. So 0.12 from 0.4 is 4/5 towards 0.10 on the knee line. So, oh gosh, that's a horrible. 4/5, it says 2 centimetres on the other side. So 4/5. So I guess it's about there. Let's just turn that over and see whether, oh no, we can't do that. Let's use our pattern master and see whether we can get 2 centimetres. Oh, I've gone over a bit. So 2 centimetres there. Okay, and that's 0.14. And then we're going to join those two together to create our inside leg to our knee. And then we're going to join, extend that a bit further. It's going at an angle. But then we're going to use our hip curve because we want to join 0.6 with a curve to create the inside leg. So we're going to just join that on. Don't want to do it too sharp. Probably about there. Just draw that in again because it. Oops. There we go. Okay. So that's our inside leg measurement. Okay. That's our inseam. 0.13 to 14 is half the full trouser width. For half the full trouser hem width minus 3/8 of an inch. Okay, so I've got a full trouser hem of 20.75. So 20.75. So we need half that, and then minus 3/8. So I'm just going to find out what. Well, it will be 10 and 3/8. So it'll be 10. So 20, that's 20 and. So it'd be 20 and 6/8. So half of 20 and 6/8 is 10 and 3/8, and then minus 3/8, which means our hem is 10 inches. So that's from 13, mark across 10 inches, and that's number 14. And then you're going to join 14 to 8. So 8 is up here, 14 is on my hem down the bottom. So I'm not going to move this again. I'm just going to join 14 to 8. Use my meter rule. Like that. Okay. And then I'm going to mark 11A here, because 11 is being missed now, and we're going to mark that as 10A. I don't know that I need to, but I'm going to mark it as 10A. Oh no, that's going to be 15. That's now a new number, so that is number 15. Okay. Been a while since I've used these. So right, and that means our front trouser line or trouser is drafted. Okay. So the next step is over the top, we're going to then draft our back. So it'll end up looking like that, basically. All looks a bit complicated when you look at it like this, but it does make sense, I promise. Okay. So back panel. 0.6A is 1/4 of an inch below 0.6. So 0.6 is here. So it's 1/4 of an inch. I'm just going to square down. I knew when I drew that 6 in, it'd be in the wrong place. Or wrote 6 in, it'd be in the wrong place. So let me just redraw those lines in. So that is 6, and then 6A, and that's going to be in the way now as well. Okay, so that is 6, that is 6A, and then we're going to square that out. Okay, and then 0.16 is 1/16th of the seat on the square plus 3/8 of an inch from 0.6A. So let's go back to that. 1/16th of our seat. Our seat is 23, so we find the 16ths, which are these ones right down here, and we're going to go 23, so it's that line there, last line, and we're going to square across from 6A to there, and then we're going to add on 3/8. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and that is 0.16 there. And then 0.17 from 0 is half 0 to 2, half 0 to 2, so it's half this measurement, which is 13.5 inches, so that's 6.5, 6 3/4 inches. So that's 17. Oh, plus 1 centimetre. So half 0 to 2 plus 1 centimetre, which means I've got to go this way, the centimetre, which is, oh, I've not put that in inches. So let's just get on metre rule, and we'll just come down there. So that's 17. And then 0.18 from 0 is 1 5/8 this way towards 7. So 1 inch and 5/8. That's 18. And then we're going to extend, so we're then going to join 17 to 18 and then extend the line that way. So we do it like that. And we need to mark 5 centimetres, which is 2 inches above. So that's 19. And then we're going to join 0.17 to 16 with a curve. So again, I'm going to use my pit curve. And that creates a nice curve like that. There we go. And then that creates the back fork to the trousers. So that's your back seam. And then the next step is to mark 0.20 from 0.12, which is 5/8 of an inch. So that's down on the knee. So we're just going to do the inside leg. So it is, let's say that again. So 0.20. Oh, I've marked this wrong. That's why I've confused myself. That's not 14. That's 12. Okay. So from point 12 going towards 4 is 5/8 of an inch. Which is there. So that is 20. And then point 21 from point 13, which is down on the hemline, is 3/8 of an inch. I won't take you down there. I'm just going to mark it. So 3/8 of an inch, and that's towards point 1. And that's 21. And then we're going to join those two together. So we're creating the inside leg of the back trouser, basically. We'll extend that, whoops. Like that. And then we're going to join this line to point 16 with a curve. So now I do want a proper curve up this end. So then I'm going to do it in a couple of stages. So I'm going to draw that line in. And then I'm just going to use the curve again. Oh, sorry, you can't see that. So I've joined from there. I've just used that curve like that to come down to here. And then I'm going to join again like that. And that's my new inside leg. Rid of that line. It doesn't confuse it. Clean that one up. Yeah, that's my outside. And then my inside, I'm just going to do a bit of tidying on that because it just looks a bit sharp. So that's my new inside leg. Sorry, front leg. They're both inside leg. They're going to join together, those two, at some point. Okay, so that's my inseam drawn. Right, and then we need to get onto the waist. So here we're going to mark across point 22 from point 19. So this is point 19 up here. Point 19, and 22 will sit on this line coming from 0. So point 22 from point 19 is half the actual waist measurement, so half of 40, which is 20, minus 0 to 7, and then plus 1 3/8. Okay, so let's just break that down. So 22 from 19 is half the actual waist, so it's 20 minus 0 to 7. So we just measure 0 to 7. 0 to 7 is 10 1/4. 10 2/8. So that will be 19 6/8. 20 minus 10. 20 minus 10. No, 9 6/8. Sorry, 9 6/8. 9, 19, 20. Yes. So 9 6/8. Then we've got to add 1 3/8. So that means it's 9/8. 9, 10 9/8, which you can't have, so it's 11 1/8. Okay, so 11 1/8 is there. Okay, and that gives you point 22. And that's ease and a dart we're going to put in a moment. 23 from point 14 on the hem. So this is, we're going to now do our outside leg. So going right down to the hem, I'm not going to take you with me. We are just going to mark it on. So let's find it. Where are we? Point 23 from point 14 is 3/8 of an inch. So it's not marked on here, but that is 23 there. It's on the right hand side of 14. So it's 3/8 of an inch. And then and that's 23. And then 24 from 11A, so that's here on your crotch line, is point 24 from 11A is a third of the distance between 11A and 15. Okay, so it's a third of that measurement. So we have 13 6/8. It'll be something 2/8. So 13. 12. So it's 4 3/8 approximately, 369. Yes, approximately 4 3/8. So 4 5/8 from there. 4 5/8, and then we're going to join. That's 24, and you're going to square out from 24. So line up to the line that 24 lines on, and then you square out, and you're going to square out to 25, which is a third of the distance between 0.7 and 0.22. So come back up here onto the waistline, and you're going to divide from 0.7 to 0.22, which measures 2 6/8. You're going to divide that by 3. Oh, I'm going to cheat because that's really difficult to work out. My brain power is fading fast on me, so I'm going to use 7.1 centimeters. I'm going to use a calculator. 7.1 divided by 3 is 2.3 centimeters. So from 24, I'm going to square out 2.3 centimeters. That's where 25 is. This is why I work partly in centimeters and partly in inches, because if it's too complicated to work out in one of them, it's usually easier in the other one. So I'm going to just, let me rub out on my, did quite well with that one, but I've now reached a point where my brain won't function properly if I keep having to do maths. So 25. So basically that distance there between 24 and 25 is a third of the distance between 7 and 22. However you get there, whether you draw that on a piece of paper, fold it into thirds and then measure it, it's up to you. But I found it easy to put it into centimetres and mark it off. Okay. And then 0.26 is half the measurement. So it's half the measurement from 24 to 25. So see what that is in inches. 7/8 approximately. So let's see what I get in centimeters. Approximately 1.2. So I'm going to do that. 1.2 from 15 towards 10 is there. And then we're going to join and we're going to mark, hang on, before we join anything, because I think we're going to join 23 to 26 on our knee, and then we're going to go through 25, and then from 8 it's approximately an inch. So I'm going to mark an inch point here, and the reason it's approximately is because it might be a bit further over on some people and it might be a bit nearer on others, because what you now need to do is join 22 to 25 and go through 8A. Okay, but if it doesn't hit 8A, it's not an absolute disaster. So I'm going to join 25 to 8A to begin with. I'm going to turn my curve so the fullness is on my hip and just see. And in actual fact, you're not really going to even use a curve there. It's going to come out like that. So I am actually using 8A. And that line joining 22, 8A, 25 to 26 on my knee, and then down to 23 on my hem. That is my outside leg measurement. And you'll see, hopefully, that we do have a trouser pattern now. So we have the front and we have the back. And then the next step is that we need to build up, we need to create a back dart, and then we need to add on a waistband. Okay, and it is a grown on waistband rather than a separate one. Okay, so as this video has been quite long, I'm actually going to come back and do that as the next bit. Okay, so thank you for watching. Hopefully it's made sense so far. Sorry it's a bit haphazard, but I always knew this was going to happen, because having the length of the trouser on the table is really hard to move around when you've only got that much space on your screen. And if I moved you too further away so you could see everything, you wouldn't actually be able to see the lines. So hopefully you can see what I'm doing and get the gist of it. And if you're really interested, then you can buy the pattern instructions, which I'm working through with you at the moment, from my Etsy shop. But come back for part 2, and I'll go through how to do the back dart and the waistline and the pockets and the fly pieces. Okay, thank you for watching. Please like if you liked it, even if you just thought it was amusing. watching some strange lady draft a pair of pattern trousers and drop a pattern master or two. And please subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. Bye.